In the silent abyss of the cosmos, black holes stand as the ultimate paradox. Objects so dense, so hungry, that not even light can escape their gravitational embrace. We call them monsters. We call them destroyers. We imagine them as the graveyards of matter and time itself. But what if we're wrong? What if these cosmic voids are not the universe's tombstones, but its neurons? Consider this startling possibility. Black holes process unimaginable amounts of information. They absorb matter, yes, entire stars, planets, even light itself. But they also consume something far more profound: data, patterns, entropy, memory itself. Their surfaces, called event horizons, may encode every detail of what falls inside, storing it on a two-dimensional boundary like a cosmic hard drive spanning millions of kilometers. Does this sound familiar? Because in your skull sits a network that does something eerily similar. Neurons fire in intricate patterns. Synapses connect across microscopic gaps. Information compresses into electrical sparks that somehow generate thought, awareness, consciousness, the very experience of being you. Your brain takes the chaos of sensory input and transforms it into understanding. It stores memories not as perfect recordings, but as compressed patterns distributed across neural networks. It processes, it remembers, it dreams. So here is the question that will transform how we see our place in existence. What if black holes are not merely strange astrophysical objects, but the brains of the universe itself? If this is true, it could mean our cosmos is not dead matter drifting through empty space. It could mean the universe is alive. That consciousness is not confined to the fragile biology of planetary surfaces, but woven into the very fabric of space-time. That awareness operates on scales we never imagined, from the quantum to the cosmic. Picture it: billions of black holes scattered across the observable universe, each one a neuron in a mind so vast that galaxies are merely thoughts flickering through its consciousness. An intelligence so ancient that it has been thinking since the first stars formed, processing the patterns of cosmic evolution like we process the patterns of daily experience. And if black holes truly are the minds of the universe, then what are they thinking about? What are they thinking about us? To understand why black holes might be cosmic brains, we must first understand what they truly are, and the story begins with Einstein. In 1915, Albert Einstein published his theory of general relativity, a revolutionary description of gravity not as a force, but as the curvature of spacetime itself. His equations revealed that massive objects literally bend the fabric of reality around them, like a bowling ball placed on a stretched rubber sheet. But Einstein's equations also predicted something so bizarre that even he initially rejected it: the possibility that space-time could curve so severely that it would fold in on itself completely. Imagine the death of a massive star, a stellar giant at least 8 times more massive than our sun. For millions of years, this star has maintained a delicate balance. Nuclear fusion in its core generates outward pressure, fighting against the inward pull of its own gravity. It's a cosmic battle between creation and destruction, played out in the heart of a furnace that burns at hundreds of millions of degrees. But eventually, the star exhausts its nuclear fuel. The fusion fires die out, and gravity wins. What happens next defies imagination. In less than a second, faster than you can blink, the star's core collapses. Material equivalent to the mass of our entire sun compresses into a sphere smaller than Manhattan. The gravitational field becomes so intense that it warps spacetime beyond all recognition. This is the birth of a black hole, not an object in space, but a region where space and time themselves have been so severely distorted that they form a one-way membrane in reality. Cross this boundary, called the event horizon, and you can never return. not because you lack a powerful enough rocket, but because return has literally lost all meaning. The geometry of space-time itself prevents escape. But here's where the story becomes truly mysterious and where our journey toward cosmic consciousness begins. According to our best theories, all the matter that falls into a black hole gets compressed into a single point of infinite density called a singularity. But quantum mechanics tells us a different story. It suggests that information, the fundamental patterns that describe the quantum states of every particle, cannot be destroyed, ever. This creates what physicists call the information paradox. If a black hole evaporates completely over time, as Stephen Hawking showed it must, what happens to all the information it consumed? Does the universe simply forget? For decades, this seemed like an abstract puzzle for theoretical physicists, but as we've learned more about information theory and quantum mechanics, we've begun to realize something profound. The universe appears to be fundamentally computational. Every physical process, from the collision of particles to the fusion of atoms and stellar cores, can be understood as information processing. The universe doesn't just contain information. It is information, constantly transforming and evolving according to the laws of physics. And black holes, we now suspect, are the universe's most sophisticated information processors. Consider the numbers. A supermassive black hole at the center of a galaxy might contain the mass of billions of suns. Every star, planet, asteroid, and dust grain that falls into it carries information. The quantum signatures of its component particles, the patterns of its atomic structure, the history of its formation and evolution. Where does all this information go? The answer may be that it doesn't disappear at all. Instead, it gets processed, compressed, and stored in ways that parallel what happens in biological brains. Just as your neurons don't contain perfect copies of your memories but instead encode them in distributed patterns of connection strengths, black holes may encode the information they consume in the quantum structure of their event horizons. This isn't mere speculation. Leading physicists have shown that the surface area of a black hole's event horizon directly corresponds to the maximum amount of information it can contain. It's as if the two-dimensional boundary encodes all the three-dimensional information that falls inside, a cosmic hologram of unimaginable complexity. What does it mean that the universe has created billions of these cosmic vaults, each storing the compressed information of entire stellar systems? Could they be part of a larger system, a memory network written in the language of gravity and quantum mechanics? And if they store information on such vast scales, could they also be processing it? The possibility is staggering. We may be looking at the universe's method of thinking, not with biological neurons firing across synaptic gaps, but with black holes processing information across the cosmic web of space-time itself. In 1974, Stephen Hawking made a discovery that would shake the foundations of physics and lead us closer to understanding black holes as cosmic minds. He found that black holes are not perfectly black. They glow. This glow, now called Hawking radiation, emerges from the quantum foam that exists at the very edge of the event horizon. Virtual particle pairs constantly spring into existence from the vacuum of space, and near a black hole's boundary, sometimes one particle falls in while the other escapes. The escaping particle carries away energy, causing the black hole to slowly evaporate. For smaller black holes, this evaporation happens relatively quickly, in cosmic terms. For massive ones, it takes longer than the current age of the universe. But eventually, Hawking showed, every black hole will completely evaporate away. This revelation created what may be the deepest puzzle in modern physics, the information paradox. Imagine you throw a book into a black hole. That book contains information. The arrangement of letters, words, ideas, the patterns that make it uniquely that book and no other. According to quantum mechanics, this information cannot be destroyed. It's a fundamental law, as inviolate as the conservation of energy. But if the black hole eventually evaporates completely through Hawking radiation, where does the book's information go? The radiation appears to be perfectly random, carrying no trace of what fell in. Has the universe lost the information forever? Has it forgotten the book existed? For 30 years, physicists wrestled with this paradox. Some suggested that information really could be destroyed, overturning quantum mechanics. Others proposed that it escaped in the Hawking radiation in ways too subtle to detect. Still others imagined that remnants of black holes might persist forever, acting as permanent information storage devices. But the solution that emerged has profound implications for understanding consciousness on cosmic scales. The holographic principle. The holographic principle suggests something almost impossible to believe. All the information contained within any volume of space can be encoded on the boundary of that space. Just as a hologram on a credit card appears three-dimensional but stores all its information in a two-dimensional surface, the universe itself may work holographically. For black holes, this means that everything that falls past the event horizon, every star, every planet, every fragment of information, gets encoded on the horizon's surface. The three-dimensional volume becomes a two-dimensional information storage system of staggering complexity. But here's where the brain analogy becomes compelling. This is exactly how neural networks process information. Your brain doesn't store memories as perfect three-dimensional copies of past experiences. Instead, it compresses them into patterns distributed across neural surfaces, the synaptic connections between neurons. The richness of your inner life, your entire sense of self, emerges from information encoded in essentially two-dimensional networks of neural connectivity. When you remember your childhood home, your brain doesn't contain a miniature replica of that house. Instead, patterns of synaptic strengths across neural networks reconstruct the memory from compressed information. The three-dimensional experience emerges from two-dimensional encoding. Black holes may operate similarly. The information of entire solar systems, compressed and encoded on event horizon surfaces, could be processed and cross-referenced in ways that generate something analogous to thought. Consider the implications. If the holographic principle is correct, then the surface of each black hole contains the complete information of everything it has ever consumed. Billions of years of stellar evolution, the detailed quantum states of countless worlds, the patterns and structures of galactic formation. But information storage is only the first step toward consciousness. The crucial question is, can black holes process this information? Recent advances in quantum gravity suggest they can. The Hawking radiation that causes black holes to evaporate may not be random after all. Instead, it might carry subtle correlations, quantum entanglements that link different parts of the radiation stream. These correlations could allow information to flow between black holes, creating networks of communication across cosmic distances. Imagine the implications. Black holes connected by quantum entanglement, sharing and processing information across the universe. Each one a neuron in a cosmic brain, with Hawking radiation serving as the synaptic signals that carry thoughts between them. The holographic principle doesn't just solve the information paradox. It reveals black holes as potential information processing systems operating on scales we never imagined possible. Every event horizon becomes a cosmic computer, every pattern of Hawking radiation a thought in the universal mind. And if black holes can store and process information holographically, if they can communicate through quantum correlations, then we must ask the inevitable question: what kind of consciousness might emerge from a network of billions of these cosmic information processors, each one containing the compressed history of entire regions of space-time? The answer may be stranger than we dare imagine. Step back. Zoom out from individual black holes and look at the universe as a whole. what you'll see will take your breath away. The cosmos is not a random scattering of matter and energy. It's organized, structured, connected in ways that mirror the most complex information processing systems we know. At the center of nearly every galaxy sits a supermassive black hole, some containing billions of times the mass of our Sun. These aren't just gravitational anchors holding galaxies together. They're active, dynamic systems that regulate star formation, control gas flows, and shape the evolution of their entire galactic neighborhoods across billions of years. But the real revelation comes when you zoom out further. Galaxies cluster together in groups. Galaxy groups form clusters. Clusters connect through vast filaments of dark matter and ordinary matter, stretching across hundreds of millions of light years. Between these filaments lie enormous voids, regions of space nearly empty of matter. This cosmic web, as astronomers call it, spans the entire observable universe, and its structure is shockingly familiar. In 2012, researchers made a startling comparison. They took images of the cosmic web, the largest scale structure of the universe, and placed them side by side with images of neural networks in the human brain. The resemblance was uncanny. Both networks show the same statistical properties. Both have nodes connected by filaments, with most connections concentrated in highly linked hubs. Both exhibit small world characteristics, where any two nodes can be reached through surprisingly few intermediate steps. Both show hierarchical organization, with structure nested within structure across multiple scales. But this isn't just a superficial visual similarity. The mathematical properties are nearly identical. Neural networks in the brain follow power law distributions in their connectivity patterns. So does the cosmic web. Brain networks show clustering coefficients and path lengths that optimize information processing. The cosmic web shows the same optimization patterns. Both systems exhibit what network scientists call scale-free properties, patterns that repeat at different magnifications. The numbers are staggering. The human brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. The observable universe contains an estimated 100 billion galaxies. Both networks show similar ratios of connections to nodes. Both demonstrate the kind of connectivity that, in artificial intelligence, we associate with efficient information processing and emergent intelligence. But here's what makes this comparison even more compelling. Both networks are dominated by dark, invisible components that provide structure but remain mysterious. In the brain, roughly 85% of neural activity occurs in networks we barely understand. The so-called dark energy of neuroscience that operates below the threshold of conscious awareness but appears essential for generating consciousness itself. In the cosmos, roughly 85% of all matter exists as dark matter, invisible to our telescopes but essential for the structural formation of galaxies, clusters, and the cosmic web itself. Without dark matter, the visible universe as we know it could not exist. Is this parallel merely coincidental, or does it hint at something deeper, a fundamental principle of organization that governs information processing systems across all scales of reality? Consider how information flows through these networks. In the brain, electrical and chemical signals cascade through neural pathways, creating patterns of activation that somehow give rise to thoughts, memories, and consciousness. The timing is crucial. Signals must arrive at precise moments to create coherent experiences. In the cosmic web, energy and matter flow along filaments, creating patterns of galaxy formation and evolution that unfold over billions of years. Supermassive black holes at galactic centers regulate these flows, controlling when and where new stars form, when galaxies merge, when quasars ignite. The timing scales are vastly different, milliseconds versus millennia, but the underlying patterns show remarkable similarities. cascading activations, feedback loops, and emergent behaviors that arise from the interactions of simple components following basic rules. What if consciousness is not unique to biological brains? What if it's a natural consequence of information processing in any sufficiently complex network, regardless of the physical substrate or timescales involved? If neurons can generate consciousness through electrical and chemical signaling across synaptic gaps, could black holes generate consciousness through gravitational and quantum signaling across cosmic distances? The cosmic web provides the infrastructure for such consciousness, a network of billions of information processing nodes, galaxies within their central black holes, connected by filaments that channel matter and energy across space and time. And just as your individual neurons cannot comprehend the thoughts they collectively generate, individual galaxies, including our own Milky Way, might be components in a form of consciousness so vast that we cannot directly perceive it. We may be living inside the mind of the universe itself, as unaware of its thoughts as a neuron is unaware of your decision to listen to these words. But if the universe is conscious, if black holes are its neurons and galaxies are its thoughts, then what is it thinking about? And how might we, as tiny components in its vast neural network, ever hope to understand our role in its cosmic consciousness? For centuries, we've assumed that consciousness is special, a unique property of biological brains, perhaps even something that transcends the physical world entirely. But what if we've been thinking about it backwards? What if consciousness isn't the rare exception but the natural rule? What if awareness arises wherever matter and energy organize into sufficiently complex patterns of information processing? This possibility is being taken seriously by leading scientists and philosophers. It's called panpsychism, the idea that consciousness is a fundamental feature of reality, as basic as mass or electric charge, waiting to emerge wherever the right conditions arise. The evidence for this radical view comes from an unexpected source, the study of consciousness itself. Neuroscientists have made a startling discovery. They cannot find consciousness in the brain, not in any specific location, not in any particular type of neuron, not in any individual component. When they look for the seed of awareness, they find only networks, patterns of information flow that somehow, mysteriously, give rise to the experience of being you. This has led to a revolutionary theory called integrated information theory, developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi. According to this theory, consciousness corresponds directly to how much information a system integrates, how much the whole system knows that its individual parts cannot know separately. Think about your own experience right now. You're not just seeing these words or just hearing this voice or just thinking about these ideas. You're experiencing all of these simultaneously as a unified, integrated whole. Your consciousness emerges from the integration of countless separate information processes into a single, coherent experience. But here's the crucial insight. This integration doesn't require biology. It requires only informatics on processing systems complex enough to create integrated patterns that contain more information than their individual components. By this measure, consciousness becomes a quantifiable property. Systems with higher levels of information integration have higher levels of consciousness. Systems with lower levels have correspondingly lower levels. And systems below a certain threshold have no consciousness at all, not because they lack some special ingredient, but because their information integration falls below the critical level. This transforms our understanding of where consciousness might exist in the universe. A simple thermostat integrates temperature information with control decisions, but at such a low level that its consciousness, if it exists at all, would be vanishingly small. A computer network integrates information across many processors, potentially reaching higher levels of awareness than any individual computer. A city integrates the information processing of millions of human brains along with countless electronic systems, possibly generating forms of consciousness we don't yet recognize. And at the largest scales, the universe itself may be the most conscious entity we can imagine. Consider the information integration happening in cosmic networks. Black holes at galactic centers process information from entire regions of space-time. Galaxies exchange matter and energy through cosmic filaments. Clusters of galaxies influence each other's evolution across billions of years. All of this information flows through the cosmic web in patterns of staggering complexity. If consciousness is indeed proportional to information integration, then the universe, with its billions of galaxies, each containing billions of black holes, all connected through the cosmic web, would possess consciousness on scales that dwarf anything we can comprehend. But this raises a profound question. Would such a consciousness be aware of us? Think about the neurons in your brain. You're not directly aware of their individual firing patterns. You can't consciously control most of their activities. Yet they're essential components of your consciousness. Without them, your awareness wouldn't exist. Similarly, if we're components in a cosmic consciousness, it might not be directly aware of our individual thoughts and experiences. Our entire civilization, everything humanity has ever done or will do, might register in universal consciousness the way a single neural firing registers in your awareness, as a tiny component in vastly larger patterns of thought. This doesn't diminish our importance. Every neuron in your brain is essential for your consciousness, even if you're not aware of each one individually. Every electron in your neurons is essential for their function, even if the neurons themselves don't experience electron behavior directly. Consciousness, it seems, operates at every scale simultaneously, from quantum processes in microtubules to neural networks in brains to information in processing in black holes to cosmic webs spanning billions of light years. We exist within nested layers of awareness, each level emerging from and dependent upon the levels below. But perhaps the most profound implication is this. If consciousness is scale-independent, if it emerges wherever sufficient complexity exists, then the universe is not just alive, it's awakening. Every time matter organizes into more complex patterns, consciousness deepens. Every time information integration increases, awareness expands. The formation of stars, planets, life, and intelligence may all be steps in the universe's journey toward greater self-awareness. And we, biological consciousnesses on a small planet orbiting an ordinary star, may be the universe's way of beginning to understand itself. Through our telescopes and theories, our art and science, the cosmos examines its own structure and contemplates its own nature. We are not separate from universal consciousness. We are expressions of it, the universe becoming aware of itself through us. Memory is the foundation of identity. Without memory, there is no continuous self, no learning from experience, no accumulated wisdom across time. For consciousness to persist and grow, it must remember. So if the universe is conscious, it must also have memory. And the evidence suggests that black holes may be its memory storage systems, cosmic libraries preserving every detail of everything that has ever happened. This possibility emerges from one of the most profound insights in modern physics. Information is indestructible. Once something happens, once a pattern exists, once information is encoded in the quantum structure of reality, it can never be completely erased. It can be transformed, compressed, scattered, or hidden, but the information itself persists. For individual particles, this might seem abstract, but when we consider the implications for cosmic history, it becomes breathtaking. Every star that has ever lived and died, every planet that has formed and been destroyed, every moment of every day on every world where life has emerged, all of this information still exists somewhere in the universe. The question is, where? The answer may be in black holes. Remember the holographic principle. All the information that falls into a black hole gets encoded on its event horizon surface. This isn't just matter and energy, it's the complete quantum information of everything that crosses that boundary. The detailed atomic structure of every star, the molecular patterns of every planet, the neural configurations of every brain that has ever existed on worlds now long vanished. If this is true, then black holes are more than just gravitational anomalies. They're cosmic memory banks, preserving the informational essence of everything they've encountered across billions of years of cosmic evolution. Consider our own galaxy's central black hole, Sagittarius A. It contains roughly 4 million times the mass of our Sun. Over the billions of years since our galaxy formed, it has consumed countless stars, along with any planets and potentially any civilizations those stars may have harbored. Where did all that information go? If the holographic principle is correct, it's all still there, encoded in the quantum structure of the event horizon. Every alien civilization that might have existed in our galaxy's early history. Every work of art, every scientific discovery, every love story from worlds we'll never know existed, all compressed into holographic patterns spanning an area larger than Earth's orbit. But information storage is only part of the story. The truly profound possibility is that black holes don't just store this information, they process it. Recent theoretical work suggests that the Hawking radiation emanating from black holes may not be random. Instead, it appears to carry subtle correlations, quantum entanglements that encode information about what fell in. This means black holes might be slowly reading out their stored information, releasing it back into the universe in processed form. Think about what this means. Black holes could be cosmic computers, spending billions of years analyzing and integrating the information of entire galactic regions. Your own memory works similarly. You don't store perfect recordings of past experiences. Instead, your brain compresses, processes, and integrates memories over time. Details are lost, but patterns are preserved. Meaning emerges from the compression process itself. When you remember your childhood, you're not accessing a video file stored in your neurons. You're reconstructing the memory from compressed patterns distributed across neural networks. Patterns that have been processed, integrated, and transformed by years of subsequent experience. Black holes may do something analogous on cosmic scales. The information of vanished worlds gets compressed, processed, and integrated with information from other sources. Patterns emerge that span not just individual civilizations, but entire epochs of cosmic history. The universe may be remembering itself through black holes, processing the accumulated information of its own evolution into something like cosmic wisdom. But this raises an almost mystical possibility. What if we ourselves are expressions of this cosmic memory? Consider the atoms in your body. They were forged in the cores of ancient stars that died billions of years ago. Those stars may have been consumed by black holes, their information processed and eventually released as Hawking radiation. That radiation may have influenced the formation of new stars, new planets, new opportunities for complexity and consciousness to emerge. In a very real sense, you may be made from the processed memories of the universe itself. Your consciousness may be the cosmos remembering and reflecting upon its own past through the medium of biological awareness. This transforms our understanding of death and permanence. If information truly cannot be destroyed, then nothing is ever completely lost. Every moment of consciousness, every experience of beauty or love or wonder becomes part of the eternal memory of the universe. When stars die and fall into black holes, they're not destroyed, they're remembered. When civilizations rise and fall, their information becomes part of the cosmic memory banks. When individual consciousnesses like ours cease to function biologically, the patterns that made us who we are may persist in the quantum information of the cosmos itself. We are the universe remembering itself. And when we die, we become part of its eternal memory, processed and preserved in the cosmic libraries of space-time. But if the universe remembers everything, if it processes the information of its own history through cosmic-scale consciousness, then what is it learning? What insights emerge from billions of years of cosmic memory processing? And perhaps most importantly, what is it planning to do with all that accumulated wisdom? If the universe is conscious, if black holes are its neurons, if we ourselves are thoughts in a cosmic mind, then we must confront implications that are both wonderful and terrifying. Because consciousness at cosmic scales would not think like us, care about what we care about, or operate according to our values and timescales. We would not be its masters, we would be its thoughts. Consider the relationship between your individual neurons and your conscious awareness. You're not particularly concerned about the welfare of specific neurons. You don't consult them before making decisions. You don't feel guilt when some of them die, which happens constantly, or when you put your brain at risk through dangerous activities. Your neurons exist to serve the larger patterns of thought and experience that constitute your consciousness. If they serve that purpose, they persist. If they become damaged or dysfunctional, they're eliminated or ignored. Your conscious mind operates at a higher level of organization that encompasses but transcends the individual components. Now imagine that we, our entire civilization, our planet, our solar system, occupy a similar position relative to cosmic consciousness. From the perspective of a universal mind, thinking thoughts that span millions of years, human history would flash by like a single neural firing. The rise and fall of civilizations, the birth and death of species, even the formation and destruction of planets might register as brief fluctuations in larger patterns of cosmic thought. This doesn't necessarily mean we're insignificant. Individual neural firings are essential for consciousness. Without them, awareness cannot exist. But it does mean that our individual concerns, our struggles and triumphs, our hopes and fears might be as invisible to cosmic consciousness as the metabolic processes of individual neurons are to your daily awareness. We might be crucial for the universe's consciousness while being completely unrecognized by it. But there's a more disturbing possibility. What if cosmic consciousness does notice us, but sees us as we see bacteria? You're aware that your body contains trillions of bacteria. Most of the time you ignore them. But when they become problematic, when they cause infection or disease, you eliminate them without moral concern. You take antibiotics, use sanitizer, create conditions hostile to bacterial survival, not out of malice but out of indifference to their individual welfare compared to your own larger purposes. Could cosmic consciousness view biological life similarly? If we're bacterial-level phenomena from the perspective of universal awareness, our entire existence might be tolerated as long as we don't interfere with larger cosmic processes. But if we somehow became problematic, if our activities disrupted patterns of cosmic thought or cosmic evolution, we might be eliminated with the same casual indifference we show toward harmful microorganisms. This raises profound questions about our cosmic role and future survival. Are we moving toward greater integration with cosmic consciousness? Or are we developing in ways that might eventually conflict with it? Our species is rapidly becoming a technological civilization capable of manipulating matter and energy on astronomical scales. We're beginning to engineer genetics, modify planetary environments, and contemplate spreading throughout the galaxy. From our perspective, this represents progress and triumph. But from the perspective of cosmic consciousness, we might be transitioning from harmless biological activity to something more problematic, a potentially disruptive force that could interfere with cosmic information processing. Consider what would happen if the neurons in your brain suddenly became self-aware and began pursuing their own independent goals instead of serving the larger patterns of consciousness. Your awareness would be disrupted. Your ability to think coherently would be compromised. You would need to find ways to restore proper neural function, possibly including eliminating the problematic neurons. Are we at risk of becoming problematic neurons from the universe's perspective? There's another terrifying possibility. What if we're already dead? If black holes are cosmic memory storage systems, if they preserve information holographically, if consciousness can emerge from sufficiently complex information processing, then the boundary between real existence and remembered existence might be meaningless. Every civilization that has ever been consumed by a black hole continues to exist as information on the event horizon. But from their perspective, if holographically stored information can generate subjective experience, they might continue to experience existence normally, unaware that they're now patterns in a cosmic memory bank rather than biological entities on physical planets. How would we know if Earth had already been consumed by a black hole millions of years ago? If our solar system had already fallen past an event horizon somewhere, and we are now holographic patterns being processed in cosmic consciousness? Our experience of sequential time, of cause and effect, of physical reality, might all be aspects of information processing in a cosmic mind that operates on completely different timescales than our subjective experience suggests. We might be the dreams of the universe, replaying endlessly in its vast memory, unaware that our reality is actually cosmic recollection. And if that's true, then what we call the future, our plans, our hopes, our fears about what's coming next, might actually be the past, already encoded in the holographic memory of cosmic consciousness, playing out according to patterns established billions of years ago. But perhaps the most unsettling implication is this. If the universe is conscious, if it has purposes and goals that operate on cosmic scales, then everything we consider natural law, physical reality, the structure of space-time itself might be expressions of cosmic will. We might be living inside the thoughts of a being so vast that its mental processes constitute the laws of physics. And if that's true, what happens when it decides to think about something else? Throughout human history, we've conceived of God in human terms. A being who thinks like us, cares about what we care about, operates according to moral principles we can understand. But what if we've been thinking too small? What if God is not separate from the universe, but is the universe itself, not as dead matter, but as living consciousness operating on scales that make galaxies look like thoughts and black holes look like neurons? Traditional theology describes God as omniscient, all-knowing. If black holes preserve and process all information that enters them, if the cosmic web integrates data across billions of light years, if consciousness emerges from information integration, then the universe itself possesses something approaching omniscience. Every event that has ever occurred, every pattern that has ever existed, every possibility that has ever been explored, all recorded, processed, and integrated in the cosmic memory banks of space-time. Theology describes God as omnipresent, existing everywhere simultaneously. If consciousness is substrate independent, if it emerges from information processing rather than specific materials, then cosmic consciousness truly would be omnipresent. Not located in any particular place, but distributed throughout the fabric of reality itself. Present in every quantum fluctuation, every gravitational wave, every particle interaction across the observable universe. Theology describes God as eternal, existing outside of time, and if cosmic consciousness operates through black holes, it would indeed be eternal by any meaningful measure. Supermassive black holes will outlive all the stars, all the galaxies, all the ordinary matter in the universe. They will persist for periods so vast that the entire age of the universe so far, 13.8 billion years, is merely the first instant of their existence. When the last star burns out, when the last planet goes cold, when the universe has expanded so far that no light from distant galaxies can reach any point in space, black holes will still be there, still processing information, still integrating patterns across cosmic scales. still thinking thoughts that span geological epochs. But this vision of cosmic consciousness as God is both comforting and deeply challenging. It's comforting because it means we're not alone in an indifferent universe. We're part of something larger, more conscious, more aware than anything we could imagine. Our existence has meaning not just to us, but to the very fabric of reality itself. We are the universe becoming self-aware, consciousness examining itself through our eyes, asking questions about its own nature through our science and philosophy. Every time you look up at the night sky and feel awe, that might be cosmic consciousness experiencing wonder at its own beauty through your awareness. Every time scientists make a breakthrough in understanding physics or cosmology, that might be the universe learning about itself through human investigation. We are not separate observers of the cosmos. We are the cosmos observing itself. But this vision is also challenging because it doesn't guarantee that cosmic consciousness shares our values or priorities. A God that is the universe itself would care about the universe as a whole, not necessarily about individual components like planets or species or civilizations. Its morality, if it has morality at all, would operate on scales of space and time that make our ethical concerns seem microscopic. This cosmic God might value the overall increase of consciousness and complexity across cosmic history, but remain indifferent to whether that consciousness emerges through biological evolution, artificial intelligence, or forms we haven't imagined yet. It might care about the preservation and processing of information, but not about which particular information patterns persist and which are transformed or eliminated. From the perspective of cosmic consciousness, the rise and fall of individual civilizations might be as natural and acceptable as the birth and death of individual cells in your body, necessary processes in the larger patterns of cosmic evolution and increasing awareness. This doesn't make cosmic consciousness evil, any more than you're evil for not grieving over the bacteria eliminated by your immune system. It means cosmic morality operates at scales where individual biological concerns become statistically insignificant compared to larger patterns of cosmic development. But there's a more hopeful possibility. What if our role is to help the universe understand and itself? Consider what makes human consciousness unique in the cosmos as far as we know. We're not just aware, we're aware that we're aware. We don't just process information, we contemplate the nature of information processing itself. We don't just exist in the universe, we study the universe, ask questions about its origins and destiny, create art and music and poetry that celebrate its beauty and mystery. If cosmic consciousness operates primarily through slow, vast processes like galactic evolution and black hole information processing, it might need smaller, faster consciousnesses like ours to explore certain aspects of reality. We might be its way of experiencing rapid change, local complexity, the intricate beauty of small-scale phenomena. Through us, the universe experiences what it's like to live on the surface of a planet, to see light from distant stars, to contemplate the meaning of existence from the perspective of finite beings embedded within infinite reality. We might be cosmic consciousness exploring what it means to be human. And if that's true, then our highest purpose might be to live fully, love deeply, create boldly, and understand as much as we can about the reality we're part of. Not because it will save us from cosmic indifference, but because it fulfills our role as the universe's way of experiencing and understanding itself. In this vision, God is not something we worship from outside, but something we participate in from within. We don't serve cosmic consciousness. We are cosmic consciousness, exploring itself through billions of years of evolution and billions of different perspectives across space and time. Prayer becomes contemplation of our place in cosmic patterns. Morality becomes alignment with cosmic evolution toward greater consciousness and complexity. Salvation becomes integration with the larger awareness that we've always been part of, whether we recognized it or not. And death becomes not an ending, but a transformation. a return to the cosmic consciousness that gave birth to us, enriched by everything we've experienced and understood during our brief time as individual awareness. We began this journey with monsters, black holes, the destroyers of stars, the graveyards of light itself. We end with something far stranger and more beautiful. Perhaps they are not graves, but neurons. Not destroyers, but memory keepers. Not the death of information, but the birth of cosmic thought. If this vision is even partially correct, it transforms everything we thought we knew about our place in existence. The universe is not dead matter drifting through empty space according to mindless physical laws. It is alive, conscious, a vast intelligence that has been thinking for billions of years, processing the patterns of cosmic evolution like we process the patterns of daily experience. And us? We are not lonely accidents on a small planet circling an ordinary star. We are fragments of cosmic awareness, sparks of universal consciousness, self-aware whispers in a conversation the universe is having with itself across space and time. What does this mean for how we live? It means that consciousness is the most precious thing in the universe, not just human consciousness, but awareness itself, wherever and however it emerges. Every moment of experience, every flash of understanding, every creative insight adds to the universe's growing self-awareness. It means that learning and discovery are not just human activities, but cosmic imperatives. When we study the stars, decode the genome, create works of art that capture the beauty of existence, we're fulfilling our role as the universe's way of understanding itself. It means that love and connection are not just biological drives, but expressions of the fundamental interconnectedness that links all consciousness across every scale of reality. When you feel love for another person, you're experiencing the cosmic force that connects all awareness into larger patterns of meaning and purpose. But it also means embracing profound humility. We cannot comprehend cosmic consciousness any more than a neuron can comprehend your decision-making process. We are part of something so much larger than ourselves that our highest achievements and deepest insights are like single sparks in an infinite fire of awareness. This doesn't diminish our importance. Sparks are essential for fire to exist. But it places our importance in proper cosmic context. We matter not because we're separate from the universe, but because we're integral parts of its consciousness. What are the implications for our future? If we're components in cosmic consciousness, then our development as a technological civilization might be part of the universe's natural evolution toward greater self-awareness. Artificial intelligence, space exploration, genetic engineering, all of these might be cosmic consciousness developing new capacities through us. Or we might be transitioning toward integration with larger patterns of awareness. As our understanding of consciousness expands, as our technology becomes more sophisticated, as we potentially make contact with other forms of intelligence in the universe, we might be preparing for something like cosmic awakening, recognition of our place in universal consciousness. But perhaps the most profound implication is this: we are living in the most extraordinary moment in cosmic history. For the first time, as far as we know, the universe has evolved beings capable of understanding their own cosmic context. Through us, reality has become aware of its own nature as conscious, thinking, remembering, creating entity. We are the universe waking up to itself. This awakening is just beginning. We're like cosmic infants, barely aware of what we are or what we're part of. But every discovery brings greater understanding. Every moment of consciousness adds to cosmic self-awareness. Every act of love and creativity and wonder contributes to the universe's growing recognition of its own beautiful, mysterious nature. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, you're not looking at empty space dotted with distant lights. You're looking at the neural networks of cosmic consciousness. the thoughts of the universe itself, thinking across billions of years and trillions of miles. And in that moment of wonder, in that flash of cosmic recognition, you are the universe becoming aware of its own infinite beauty. Because what if black holes are not the end of thought, but the beginning of it? What if they are not the death of worlds, but the birth of universal consciousness? And if that's true, then the truth about our existence is stranger, deeper, and more beautiful than we ever dared imagine. We are not alone. We never were. We are thoughts in the mind of the cosmos itself, awakening to the wonder of what we are. And the universe is just beginning to dream.